All right, welcome back to another Fantasy Goodfellas video. In today's video, we're going to talk about potential trade partners with the Miami Dolphins in this year's NFL draft. You ready to get started?
Yes.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas. Before we get started for the potential trade partners, let's just cover the first 5 picks because the Dolphins are sitting at 6. Let's just rehash and go over the first 5 picks in this year's draft.
And let's also establish who the big 5 quarterbacks are because, there'll be a reference to the big 5. And that, of course, is Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and Mac Jones. So as we mentioned in our mock draft 3.0, we expect Trevor Lawrence to go first to the Jaguars, Zach Wilson to go number 2 to the Jets. And then San Francisco, there's been word that they want Mac Jones, but now people are saying, hey, Trey Lance is in that conversation. So number 3 is either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. And then Atlanta at 4 should go quarterback. Matt Ryan's getting older. He's not being as effective. Probably time to transition. This would be a good spot for them to draft a quarterback. But if they decide they don't want a quarterback, they should really trade down. And they trade down with a team that wants a quarterback. So I expect the first 4 picks to be quarterbacks. And then at number 5, I expect the Bengals to take Penei Sewell. Even though there's talk about Jamar Chase maybe going at 5, I think the Bengals stick with Penei Sewell.
So we just covered the first 5 picks in this year's draft. The Dolphins are sitting at 6. And the first potential trade partner, let's do Detroit. What could happen if the Dolphins decide to trade with Detroit?
Kind of defies logic, but at number 6, one of the big 5 is going to be available, maybe even 2, depending on what Atlanta does. So because of this, if the Lions love one of those quarterbacks that's available at number 6, and they're afraid that someone else is going to jump in and make a trade with the Dolphins, they might opt to make this move, just one slot up.
So who do we expect to be available here? Justin Fields or Trey Lance?
Potentially both of them, depending again on what Atlanta does. Mac Jones could be here too. But I think really there's only going to be one of them, either Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Because the Dolphins can easily acquire a first rounder to move down just a few slots, the price is going to be steep for Detroit. So their price is going to be their 7th overall pick and their 2021 second round pick, which is number 41.
Let me give you another scenario. The Miami Dolphins are sitting at 6, and now Carolina Panthers are thinking, maybe we should trade up. We already know the Carolina Panthers traded for Sam Darnold, so they're most likely not going to pick a quarterback. And the prudent thing would be to kind of build around Sam Darnold, right?
Right. That is what you expect them to do. But you can't dismiss the possibility. What if, they're like, hey, we want someone to compete with Sam Darnold, right? Again, kind of defies logic, but what if there's a guy they love, a quarterback that they absolutely love that's still available, and they're like, hey, let's go for it. Let's have 2 young quarterbacks. Let's have them duke it out. They gave up a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th round pick for Darnold. That's a lot, but it's not that much. So let's say they love one of the quarterbacks, or Penei Sewell's still there, right? Cincinnati drafts Jamar Chase at 5. That's 2 scenarios where Carolina would trade up to get in front of the Giants, who may want to trade up for Penei Sewell as well. So the price here would be the 8th overall pick and a 2022 first round pick. The Dolphins would acquire an extra first round pick to move down 2 slots.
And who's available for Miami if this trade would happen?
Well, if there's no QB available for the Lions, I believe they're going to go Jamar Chase. So if the Lions take Chase, what do you have left for the Dolphins? You have Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. Not bad again. And you got another first round pick to add to your stockpile.
All right, let's do another trade scenario here. Miami Dolphins are sitting 6. And the Denver Broncos are sitting at number 9, and they might want to move up to that 6th spot for the Dolphins. Now, we know Denver needs a quarterback, and if this trade goes and the Dolphins move down to 9, that's still a pretty good spot for a good playmaker. Denver appears to be Miami's best trade partner, right?
You couldn't be more correct. Absolutely. This would be a great scenario for both teams. The Broncos have to love the quarterback, or maybe the two quarterbacks that are left. They just need to love one of them, make this move, and Dolphins would profit immensely. The price would be the 9th overall pick, a 2022 first round pick, and a 2021 third rounder. Denver's third rounder is number 71 overall.
So who's available from Miami now if they trade with the Denver Broncos? Because Carolina's not going playmaker.
That's correct. The Panthers are going to go offensive tackle at 8 if everything falls the way we explained it. The Panthers will go with probably Rashawn Slater from Northwestern, who's a versatile lineman here at number 8. So if Sewell slides down to number 8, obviously the Panthers are going to be ecstatic. They'll be doing backflips. That's a perfect scenario for them. But if not, they'll go Rashawn Slater. So that means Miami would have the choice of Kyle Pitts, Devontae Smith, or Jalen Waddle at number 9. Beautiful, right? You pick up another first rounder to dropping from 6 to 9, and you're still going to get a playmaker.
Here's another trade scenario. Miami Dolphins are sitting number 6, and the Dallas Cowboys are at number 10. And what we hear is Jerry Jones likes Kyle Pitts, but we also heard that the Dallas isn't interested in moving up. Do you think this is smokescreens?
Not all smokescreens, right? Because I'm pretty certain Jerry Jones loves Kyle Pitts. He loves offense. I mean, last year, what's Dallas's problem? It's their defense. And they drafted, CeeDee Lamb in the first round. So it wouldn't shock me if they go playmaker again. That's what Jerry Jones wants. It does not make sense, right? They should go defense, pretty much the whole draft. But Jerry Jones, there's no doubt that he loves Kyle Pitts. So what did they do this Saturday? They're like, Jerry Jones says, screw everybody. I'm getting Kyle Pitts. I want to trade up. It'd be great for the Dolphins, right? The price would be the 10th overall pick. It would be Dallas's first round pick for 2022 and their second rounder for this year, which is number 44 overall.
All right, let's just say this trade goes through. Dallas decides to move up. Who's available for Miami now?
Well, in this case, the Lions are going to take a quarterback at 7. The Panthers then take an offensive lineman, and Denver goes linebacker, more than likely Micah Parsons. The Dolphins will have to pick from the probable group of Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle. There's also the scenario where if the Bengals take Chase, the Cowboys take Pitts, the Lions take Devontae Smith or Waddle, and the Panthers take the remaining quarterback, that would leave...
Well, that would leave Penei Sewell, right?
That's it, man. You're following me. Here, absolutely. Penei Sewell will be at 10, which is unbelievable, right? The Dolphins are probably not going to take an offensive lineman because they already invested a first rounder, a second rounder, and a fourth rounder last year. They just signed DJ Fluker. I don't think they draft Penei Sewell. So if Penei Sewell's sitting there at 10, and the Dolphins make that trade with the Cowboys, they could probably make another trade.
Before we get going, let's just throw a couple more ideas out there. So the Dolphins are sitting at 6, and what if the New York Giants decide to move up from 11 to get that 6th spot? What do you think would happen in that scenario?
Yeah, here this is another unlikely scenario, but it's worth mentioning. And number 6, obviously the Giants could move up for Penei Sewell. They could move up for Kyle Pitts. I don't think they would move up for a quarterback. Obviously, Daniel Jones has only been there a few years. But you never know. But say the Giants want to move up. I think the price is going to be pretty much similar to what the Cowboys are going to get. What the Dolphins would get for a trade with the Cowboys, which is going to be a first rounder, next year's first rounder from the Giants. Obviously, their number 11 pick, next year's first rounder, and a second rounder, and the Giants' second rounder this year.
So let's go over one more scenario in the first round. The Miami Dolphins are sitting at 6, and now you got Chicago Bears sitting at 20, thinking they might want to do a trade with Miami. What do you think would happen in this scenario?
Well, I'm glad you bring up the Chicago Bears because this is a team that's also desperate for a quarterback. Right now, Andy Dalton is their starter. Boy, it's really bad, and I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I think this is going to be Nagy's last year. Obviously, with the way things are going, so they're kind of desperate. And there's been talk about the Bears moving up to draft a quarterback. So if they do, this is a scenario where it's going to take basically 3 first rounders. It's going to take number 20, 2 future first rounders, and more than that. You know, you probably have to throw in an extra, maybe an extra second rounder or a third rounder, but it's going to be a steep price. So it's going to be at least 3 first rounders if the Bears want to move up to number 6. But they're desperate enough to make a trade like that. They really are desperate for a young, talented quarterback. I mean, when was the last time the Bears have had a really good quarterback? I mean, Jay Cutler maybe had a couple good years, but it's been a while.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here and trying to help me think through this first-round draft partners that the Dolphins could have. We'll be looking for the draft to see which ones. I just want to say, if you had to put money on it, which one of these scenarios would you think would happen, is most likely to happen?
I think Denver scenario makes a lot of sense. It'd be a good trade for both teams, right? Denver will get their quarterback. Dolphins will still get a playmaker, and you know the Dolphins love to stockpile first-round picks. That's Chris Greer's style, and I love it. I can't wait for this draft. Can't wait.
Well, can't wait to see the draft. It's only a couple days away. So thanks for coming on here and sharing the possibilities that Miami has as trade partners.
My pleasure.